Gameranx presents another episode of Before You Buy. You know, that show where we give you some straight-up gameplay and some of our thoughts on the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Nintendo Switch. Mario Kart 8 was a game that was already incredibly solid on Wii U, and it gets a refresh on the Switch, so thankfully, hopefully more people will play it this time around. It's a well-put-together package that's tons of fun for many situations. It's definitely not everyone's ideal video game, and it certainly doesn't take any risks, but if this is your thing, there's a lot to like. Mario Kart 8 is basically, like I said, a Switch port of the Wii U version, but it's got all the DLC and support from the previous version all packed in. Because of this, the game feels way more fleshed out and just full of stuff. You know, the character roster is chock full of characters, including the previously downloadable Link and the newcomer Splatoon kids, which is a pretty nice addition. Along with that, there's 3 new vehicle bodies, a couple little things here and there, and just plenty of stuff to choose from, seeing as now there's 42 total playable characters right from the start. Another nice change, though, is that the double item boxes now return, as well as the ability to hold 2 items at once. If you've been playing a lot of Mario Kart in your life, you know that's a pretty big change and it's a big deal. It's also worth noting the fire hopping exploit is now removed, but there is an extra level of mini turbo now. Vehicle stats and the vehicle customization thing has been retweaked in a nice little mini progression system that I already thought was pretty solid, if a little simplistic. Nicely enough, a vehicle part is randomly unlocked every 30 coins you earn, and then once reaching 450 coins, this changes to every 50. I like the system. I think it's a good way of keeping the sense of reward going and adding a small bit of strategy depth and unlocking without really overdoing it. It's absolutely worth noting, though, that battle mode is expanded, with the still best of the best balloon battle now reigning at the top of the list where it belongs. Balloon battle now feels right, it works like traditional Mario Kart, and it's still really fun. It's not all screwed up like it was in the Wii U version. There's a couple of other modes with that. There's like a collect as many coins as you can type of mode, a capture the flag style mode, and a weird cops and robbers style mode called Renegade Roundup, which seems kind of not really that fun. But there's a mode there for everyone, I guess. That's important. Other new features in the game include smart steering and auto acceleration. This is really aimed for kids who can't quite grasp the speed and intensity of a racing game, and as someone who has dumb little siblings, this is a pretty cool feature. What I don't like, though, is how it's automatically implemented from the start, though, and inside the game you can toggle these features on and off when you select your kart just by using the plus and minus buttons. It just felt a bit not obvious at first. It is definitely just for kids, and I absolutely get that, but Nintendo having it on by default is a little weird. I will say the game does look pretty damn good for what it is. It's crisp, it's bright. I noticed a bit more motion blur this time around. And if you do care about this, but if you're playing on Switch, chances are you don't that much, but it does render native at 1080p when docked in TV mode. Playing undocked on the Switch portably honestly feels like a damn miracle. The game looks good and runs great on the handheld. The Switch, I think, really comes into play, though, when you're playing local multiplayer on tabletop mode. You know, sure, you're all cramped around this tiny little screen craning your necks, and it is kind of stupid and awkward, but it is a fun way to get in a quick cup wherever you want with some friends. Maybe you're waiting at the airport, or you're sitting on a park bench somewhere. Boom, you can play a little Mario Kart. That, to me, I think, is a big plus. And if you don't have anyone around, online multiplayer also seems to connect and play well enough, in our testing at least. It's a good place to play if you really want to get your ass kicked. The Mario Kart formula is just good. It's solid, fun shit, tried and true. However, if you're the type of person in the thought process that thinks that Nintendo always does the same thing over and over again, you're not gonna find much here, and I will admit there's not much deviation from the Mario Kart formula. And while I do think this is a solid package of really fun gameplay, some are gonna have a problem with that. In terms of gameplay, there's really not that much new here. But the gameplay that is here, I think, is absolutely worth it. But I do want to say, I said it last time and I'll say it again, this game is much better with friends. So much better. If you're not a competitive multiplayer person online and you're not gonna end up playing on the couch with friends or family or something, if you don't see yourself doing that very often or at all, the game still is a really solid experience, but dropping a full price $60 on it is asking a bit much. If you're playing completely alone, you're still gonna have fun, but you're just not gonna get as much mileage out of it, you know? But even though it is a port of a Wii U game, I do think Mario Kart 8 is one of the best games on Switch you can play right now, so there's that. But you guys know how a Before You Buy video works. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion thrown in there, but now I definitely want to hear yours down in the comments. Are you feeling this? What was the last Mario Kart game you played? Maybe you haven't played since the DS one or Double Dash. I'd love to hear your perspective jumping in from Mario Kart 8, or maybe if you were hardcore competitive with the Wii U version, if you've noticed any other differences here, I want to hear from you as well. Anybody with any opinion, let's talk about Mario Kart 8 down in the comments. I'll be there talking to you guys, answering any questions you want, but I'll also be on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino as well if you got anything to ask me over there. But as always, guys, thanks so much for coming around. Clicking the like button does really help us, and subscribing if you're new is a good idea because we put out videos like this all the time. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.